stop watching porn. Stop it. Stop it. It's not good for you. Stop. I know you're probably thinking, who's this random girl sitting in a place with terrible lighting telling me what to do? I think the same thing. But what if I told you this random girl is here to change your life? Did you think about that? Huh? I know you're thinking, what is she saying? Does she even know what she's saying? But yes, I do know what I'm saying because I have done the research and I have been exactly where you are. So trust me, I do know what I'm talking about. So do listen to me. This random girl knows what she's talking about. So firstly, we're going to talk about what causes this addiction, what this addiction does to you, and just how to help yourself heal after you've been in this place. I'm not here to judge you. I'm not here to tell you you're a bad person. Nor am I here to point out your flaws. You have probably done that multiple times. I'm not going to do that for you. I'm just going to tell you what this does to you and just how to help you heal from it. So I'm here to help, not to be a villain. So please stay tuned. I will inform you. So the first thing that I'm going to talk about might be something that you do, that I do, that mostly everybody does. And I know it seems quite innocent because it's like, hey, I'm not doing what they're doing, I'm better. But trust me, everything starts with one step. It's the first step that counts. Be it success or failure, the first step counts. So the first step in this case is what may cause this addiction and what, I know you get what I'm saying, but yes, what may cause this addiction. The first thing is watching sexually stimulating movies. You're probably thinking right now, do I watch any sexually stimulating movies? But yes, you do. I am going to list out just a few. Trust me, these movies are great. I love them. I have watched them. But if you are a person who's struggling with this addiction, or just a person who wants to be better and stop being addicted, these movies may not be right for you. I am just going to list a few examples, and disclaimer, I am not discrediting these movies or anything like that. I am just giving out an example to somebody who may be struggling, or somebody who might be on the path to this porn addiction, or just somebody who wants to avoid it, or just somebody who wants to gather information. Movies like After. I mean, when you watch these movies, you do feel something within yourself. Movies like 365 Days. My Fault. This one is a recent one. But such movies, I mean, they sexually stimulate you. And it's like you're teased. So watching sexually stimulated. The second may seem a little absurd, but the second cause of this addiction may be that you were I don't even know how to say this, but the second is that you may have been exposed to sexually stimulating things at a very young age. This may be that you were sexually assaulted, or you were touched in a way that wasn't right for you at that age. So you have been left with this hunger, and you just move around with this hunger, wondering what will fill it. And then one day you just randomly stumble upon this movie and you're like, wait, what? This is actually satisfying. Where can I get more? And you start going on these websites, you start searching, you find this fulfillment, you're like, hey, I may have actually found the solution. You keep going deeper and deeper and deeper, and now you're already in the dark place and you're deeper in the darkness. I mean, come on. I know it may not be easy. How in the world are you gonna come out to somebody and tell them, I have a porn addiction? I know it's not easy, but we gotta start from somewhere. So that's the second. The third thing is that this is for my reader girls, my reader boys, my bookworms reading dark romance. I mean, we all know there's stuff in there that we shouldn't be seeing. There's some content in there that is not supposed to be seen. So reading dark romance, this is where it starts. So unfortunately, I will only leave you with 3 causes of this addiction. And I know these 3. Mostly everybody does the top 2, dark romance, dark movies. These top 2. And now I am going to talk about what this addiction does to you. This is something that's really, really personal to me, what the addiction does to you, because honestly, I feel the first one mostly, I feel our lives are never going to be the same. I mean, it's just like any other addiction. It's like an alcohol addiction, a drug addiction. It's like any other addiction, and if we do not give it the attention it desperately needs, we may never be the same people. So guys, stay tuned and listen. One thing about the causes, sometimes it may be that I once read this Bible verse that said, like, it wasn't really a Bible verse, but then I once saw this quote that said, sometimes the battle may be too hard because it's not your battle, it's been a generational battle and it's just been passed on to you, and that's why you find it so hard to win and to overcome. So one of the causes may be that it may be generational. The addiction may have come from your ancestors and it's just been passed on to you. They didn't win the battle, now it's yours and you want to stop it. So sometimes it may not even be your fault, it may just be your lineage. So you may have realized that of late you may have been showing symptoms of anxiety and depression, and you're wondering, where is this coming from? You're sitting in the dark and suddenly you think, no, when I watch this I'm gonna feel better. You do feel better in the moment, but then later you hate yourself for it. Like, why did I do this again? I hate myself, I am such a disgusting person. And there creeps in this self-hate. Even before I begin on the effects, the self-hate already begins. It's creeping in. You're talking about yourself negatively. I'm pretty sure you actually get body image disorder because you're talking about yourself in all sorts of negative ways. And honestly, I feel like this type of self-talk isn't the type that's physical. Like, you can go into the mirror and start practicing these affirmations and saying, I am the prettiest person alive, and you still won't feel good inside because you don't talk about your body in these moments of self-hurt. You talk about yourself internally, and you don't know how to fix that. You say all sorts of things about yourself, and it's stuck in the subconscious, and you just keep doing this again and again, and you talk about yourself negatively again and again. Admit it can get tiring, and you're depressed and you're anxious, and now you're even suicidal. How are these things connected? How is the porn addiction connected to being suicidal? What is the connection here? Well, as you may know, when you watch pornography, your dopamine levels rise up greatly. You get an increased number of dopamine, and you're just so ecstatic. You're happy, you're excited, and everything, and it makes you feel good. But then what do I do? This makes me feel so happy, but then at the same time I'm being suicidal. What do I do? A little creep into the second one a bit. You spend a lot of time alone in the dark because you need to be alone to watch this, right? So you spend a lot of time alone. You cut off your friends, you cut off your family. You spend a lot of time alone, so obviously you're depressed, obviously you're anxious because you are alone most of the time. And when you're done watching, you're not going to go back to it, right? So now you spend all this time alone and you're hating on yourself. There's nobody around you. The little voices start creeping in, they start whispering the lies to you. It's a lie. You're not worthless. You are worth a lot more. This addiction does not define who you are, so don't listen to that little voice. Don't listen. So, now explain the anxiety and the depression. Guys, I know it may be extremely weird and unbelievable, but most people have been diagnosed with anxiety and depression and given medication for anxiety and depression, because when you go to the therapist or to your psychologist and they tell you you're depressed, having anxiety attacks here and there, and they give you all these pills for anxiety, when in the actual sense you're just addicted to porn. You start treating the wrong problem, and makes the problem that's actually been causing all this to grow and grow and grow, making your depression and your anxiety worse and worse and worse, and your medication stronger and stronger, and addicted to medication because they keep on increasing the dosage of this medication that you do not need. Do you see how these things are interrelated and how they ruin your life so easily? Just from one thing stems all these problems. Do you see how interrelated they are? I know it's a lot, but yeah, it's true. And honestly, when this addiction gets really, really worse, even just seeing a word that triggers you, a picture that triggers you, you'll be sent into this spiral where you just have to watch. You just have to watch because it's reached that uncontrollable phase, and you just don't know what to do anymore. It's really, really sad, guys. You lose a lot of friends because you spend a lot of time alone, and now you're depressed because you have nobody around you. I know it's sad, but I am trying to give you as much information as I possibly can in the shortest span, and not to look a little bit crazy, because if we all know that this topic is blasphemic, and everybody that's hearing me now is probably like, what is she saying? So I am trying to give you as much information as I possibly can without looking cuckoo, and also without having my parents here that I'm talking about this. But yes, guys, so I'm quickly going to jump into the effects. I really hope you've gotten 1 2 things from things that I have said, and I am going to talk about how to the effects. I'm already talking about the effects, so sorry about that. The other effect is that it reduces your brain size. I know, how does watching porn reduce your brain size? But it does. Scientific study has shown that with an increased number of watches, people have had their brain size reduced. Your brain size is literally shrinking because of this. It's becoming smaller and smaller and smaller, and with that, it's causing you to have memory loss. Really, really difficult in understanding very, very simple terms. The decrease in brain size, this also causes you to lose quite a lot of gray matter, and in turn you lose a lot of healthy neurons. And without healthy neurons, how are you supposed to function properly? Because almost every single thing, if not everything, comes from the brain. You don't have healthy neurons, everything else is affected just from this one problem. How is that even fair? So I've said a lot of negatives, and one last thing, men who tend to view this on most times find it harder to connect with women in real life, which will affect a lot of your social connections because they don't reach that standard, the unrealistic standard, and that is for men, not women. Okay, so I'll talk about a few things that you can do to help yourself become better, though I do think you should seek out professional advice on this, though I did not, and I'm okay now, I think. I'm kidding. Okay, but yes, I think you should seek out professional advice on this topic, because this is just me rambling, and well, there's a few things that you can do to help yourself get better. So we all know that watching porn really raises your dopamine level. So do other things that help increase your dopamine level, though it raises the dopamine level very abnormally, which is not healthy. It's like a drug. You take a lot of it, you shoot, you fall, and now you're hungry, you want more, right? So you have to look at healthy ways of getting this dopamine, going out on walks, laughing, exercising, any single thing that you can do to help increase your dopamine level naturally. Garden, nature, listen to soothing music, any single thing that you can do to help release healthy dopamine. Do that, you will get better. And with time, if you slowly abstain from this activity, your brain will go back to its normal size, and if you do the needed activities, might even become bigger and you will be smarter. So Don't worry, it's not the end of the world. You can get better. It wasn't your fault. You're healing and you're trying to get better, and nobody's gonna judge you. Just put in the work and trust me, you will be okay. Trust yourself and trust the process. Nothing is impossible. So, done with the sentimental talk. What else can you do to help yourself get better? Stop watching dark romance movies or even reading about them. Stop it. If you have noticed that you're struggling with these things, don't put yourself to the test. Completely abstain from this and do not try and put yourself to this test. Don't watch dark romance books. Do not read dark romance books, sorry. Do not watch dark romance movies. Don't do that to yourself. If you have noticed that you're struggling, completely abstain from these things and you will see that you'll become a way healthier person. And with time, you realize that you're no longer feeling anxious and depressed. Your social skills will also improve because you will spend a lot of time out in nature trying to increase your dopamine levels. Guys, I'm so sorry if I didn't say it at the beginning. My name is Chisalu. I'm new on YouTube. Welcome and welcome. And please subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. I will be posting a lot of content about healing because honestly I have undergone quite a lot of growth, so I'm still growing. I mean, there's always room for improvement and there's always more to learn. Life always has more to teach you, but with the little information that I have gathered, I feel it's necessary I share because sharing is caring, right? It's necessary I share and I tell a brother or a sister a little about the things that I know. Please do subscribe to my channel. I'll be posting excellent content. And also follow me on Instagram. Not yet on TikTok, but do follow me on Instagram because I'd really love to interact with you guys that are new here, and I'd really like to start this journey with you guys from the very beginning. You know, it's nice to grow with people, and I am looking to improve my social skills, so I'm putting myself out there, guys. Please do give me a thumbs up, do subscribe, do ask questions in the comment section, and I will respond because I have held out a lot of information because I was afraid you guys wouldn't finish the whole video. But love you, do come back.